2 years ago, I lost my dancing partner, my biggest supporter, my best friend, my grandpa. I don't want to say too much because then there wouldn't be a purpose to this video. All I can say is that I love you, I miss you, and this video is for you.
I'm the youngest of 9. Whatever I wanted, I had. Wherever I wanted to go, my dad would take me, and my mom. So more my dad, because I think I was a daddy's girl. So yeah.
My childhood was really good. I lived with my grandma and my grandpa for a couple of years, but even after moving out, I was still always so close with them. I think everyone is. Everyone was always close with them. But that's just the type of people that my grandma and my grandpa are.
My dad was a mellow man. He wasn't the type of father that will scream at you and whip you or nothing. He was very mellow, real quiet.
His personality was really calm, really chill, very laid back. He was very loving, nurturing, caring. You know, he had his funny moments as well too.
My best memory? I have a lot of good memories with my dad. When I was little, I think I was like 7 or 8, they had that, the band, it was called Menudo. And I was like all excited about that Menudo group. And I remember he took me to the theater, we went to see their movie. So he actually took me to the movies to watch the Menudo movie. So that was like one of my best memories because I was little.
One of my best memories would probably be whenever I'd spend the night at their house. Literally everyone would spend the night at their house. Me and all my cousins would go and we'd spend the night at their house. We'd fill up like 2 rooms and the living room. Some of us wouldn't even have to sleep in my grandma and my grandpa's room because everyone just loved it there, you know, like that was kind of like an escape, kind of like your home away from home. My grandpa loved his grandchildren, you know, he was always surrounded by them, always. He always wanted to be with us, you know, he always went out of his way for us.
It was a hard week. He was here for Thanksgiving, having dinner with us, which was on Thursday. He was fine Friday, and then Monday, that's when he got real sick. He couldn't breathe. They took him to the hospital in Huntington Park. He was there for a week. And then they transferred him over to Downey. And right there, that's when the doctors told us that they couldn't do anything for him anymore. So that's when he got put in hospice. They told us he was gonna probably live from a week to 2 weeks, but not past the month of December. So I don't know, it was very heartbreaking when you find out that, you know, your dad's gonna die. Like they're just telling you that that's it, he's done. And yeah, he went home on Wednesday night, I think, or Thursday. And
Thursday.
Passed away Sunday.
He was hospitalized in August, and I think he knew he was sick. His brother had just passed, so my grandpa had a little depressed moment, and he just kept saying that, you know, that it was his time to go and for us to let him go. And then Thanksgiving comes around and I had to work, but my grandpa and my grandma were here at the house. So every year my grandma and my grandpa would spend Thanksgiving with us, but I was at work. So I'm coming home from work and my mom was telling me that my grandma and my grandpa wanted to see me, so that's why they hadn't left and they were waiting for me. So I said, okay, So I get home, I spend time with my grandma and my grandpa, and that was the last Thanksgiving I spent with them. And it sucks because I didn't even really spend it with them. You know, I didn't get to eat with them, I didn't get to hang out with them, you know, quick hi and bye type of thing. So after Thanksgiving, he was okay. That following Monday, he was hospitalized. He was in some sort of community hospital near his house, I believe, and he was there probably about a week or so, and then they transferred him over to the hospital where all his doctors were and stuff. I don't remember how long he lasted there, but I remember it was a Thursday, and me and my cousin went to go visit him, but I think we ran into like my uncle or someone, I'm not too sure, and they told us that my grandpa was gonna come home. So we said okay. But he wasn't coming home because he was better. He was coming home because he was put on hospice. The doctors basically told my mom and all my aunts and uncles that hospice was their only choice because there was no hope for my grandpa to get better, and that he wouldn't make it to the end of the year. So he comes home on a Thursday, and he has a nurse with him for the first 24 hours. And then after that, the nurses would just take shifts. I remember calling off of work Friday and Saturday. So Friday I spent the day with him. I remember texting my brother and telling him, you need to come right now and you need to tell him goodbye. Because we all knew that he didn't have that much time left. But we didn't think he was going to be gone so soon either. So the next day comes around, Saturday. Everyone's at my grandma and my grandpa's house. Everyone's just hanging out. I remember I was about to leave. I go in there, I grab his hand, and I'm holding it. And I'm telling him, hey, I have to go to work tomorrow, but I'll come and I'll visit you when I can. So I told him goodbye, and that was the last time that I saw him alive, which was December 10th of 2016. The next day, Sunday, December 11th, I had to work, and I remember getting a text from my mom saying that my grandpa had passed away. So I tell my boyfriend at the time, like, hey, can you take me to my grandma's house? He takes me, and it's about a good 35-40 minute drive from my job to my grandma's house. So I get to my grandma's, and I get off the car, and then one of my cousins is there, and she's like, don't say hi to anyone, just get in there. Walk in the front door, my other cousin approaches me, and she's like, you're too late. So I just sit, and then I hear my grandma like cry, just cry. And then I start hearing everyone else around me just cry. And then I see the two guys, and they're walking out with the black body bag, and my grandpa is in there. And so I broke down, obviously. And I remember we all got up and we all went outside, and we watched the two guys put my grandpa in the van and drive off up until we could no longer see them anymore. And we all just went back inside the house, and everyone was just silent. Just silent. No one was talking, nothing. Everyone was just silent. And so all of us older cousins, we decided to stay with my grandma. So me, my sister, and I believe two of my cousins, we all came back home. We all picked up some clothes and we went back to my grandma's house, and we stayed with her. And I remember, you know, we were just sitting down, and then my grandma walks into my grandpa's room, and my other cousin goes in and he sits down next to her. As soon as he hugs her, she just breaks down. She broke down. And so we obviously all started crying, and we had to get her out of that room, you know.
So when he passed away on Sunday around 4:45, I think, 4:45, that's when he was pronounced dead. And they picked him up till like almost 7. He passed away at the house. So shortly after, when they took him, we all gathered up and we started planning his funeral. I mean, we just couldn't sit there and cry. You know, we had to get things ready. So that was on Sunday, so we had an appointment on Tuesday, and that following Tuesday, that's when we had to arrange all his funeral. My brother came down from Santa Barbara, my sister from Arizona. So the day of the viewing, it was on a Friday. I was in shock to see a lot of people there. I mean, we are a big family, but it was a lot of people. I was kind of scared the day of the viewing. I didn't know what I was gonna feel. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to go up to him, see him and touch him or anything. It was just a hard day. The next day, you know, you think the viewing part is kind of rough, you know, seeing your father laying there. But the worst part is when you're at the cemetery and they're burying him, and you know that's when it kicks in, that you know that that's it, that he's gone, that it's real. He's never coming back.
His funeral was that following week. So Friday, it was the viewing. And as weird as this may sound, I was kind of excited to see him because I was in that denial stage. So we get to the funeral home and my grandma walks in first, and you just hear her yell. You hear her yell, you hear her crying out loud. And you know, we gave her a minute. We're like, you know what, just leave her alone. Just leave her alone, give her a minute. And then everyone started slowly walking in, and everyone was crying. It was intense. It was crazy, you know. I remember walking in, I walked up to his casket and put my hand on his, and I'm just like rubbing it. And I'm just telling him it's gonna be okay, but it's not, you know, because he's gone. So how is it gonna be okay if he's gone? The viewing lasted probably 6 hours or so, about 6 hours. And I remember just sitting in their room and everyone's leaving. It's practically empty by now. And I remember I'm just sitting there and I'm just watching the lady, you know, like removing the flowers and just about to close the casket, and I'm literally just sitting there just watching as the casket is slowly closing. And then I get up and I leave, and we all ended up going back to my grandma's house. And my grandpa had a big hat collection. He loves hats. He loved them, you know. Every single time we would go somewhere, we would always bring him back a hat. So we decided that the grandkids would all take a hat, and we would all wear them for his funeral. And so we did. And so that was Friday. So the next day, Saturday, was his funeral. We went to the church, and then we went to the cemetery. And it was hard. Even then, it kind of didn't seem real, but at the same time it did. You know, there was a whole bunch of people there. So many people were there. There were so many people there because my grandpa was loved, and he will always be loved, you know. So you have people sitting, you have people standing, you have people crying. We have the banda playing, and I remember them playing a specific song. as soon as I heard the beat, the beginning beat, as soon as I heard it, I broke down. I fell to my knees and I started crying. And so my cousin had to pick me up. He literally had to, like he picked me up. And then I remember, oh man, I remember all us grandkids and all my aunts and my uncles and my grandma, we all were able to get flowers and put them on his casket. We each got the dirt, when we threw the dirt, and we stayed there up until they were done burying him.
I think I'm still going through it. At first, you're in denial, like you don't believe it's really happening. Then you're angry and you say, why it happens? Why did it happen to you? Why was it like? I was like, why? Why did it have to happen to my dad? Why did my dad have to die? I was very upset. I would get angry when I used to see like older couples walking down the street and saying, damn, that could have been my dad and my mom, even though, my dad and my mom. And now my mom's by herself, so he's no longer here anymore to be with her. And after that, I don't know, I just hated everybody. I was very angry. It's got into a really bad depression. Well, I think I'm still depressed. It's just not easy. It's been almost 2 years and it seems like it's just happened. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about him. That I miss him. I miss him like you have no idea. But I guess you have to learn how to, you never get over this. You just have to learn how to live with it. And that's it.
I don't think I'll ever be done grieving. I don't even know if I have, to be quite honest. I really don't know. I mean, grieving is a never-ending process, if you really think about it. It doesn't get easier, and it's not something you can just forget. It's just something that you're gonna have to live with for the rest of your life. I don't really think I have any coping mechanisms. I just, there's good days and there's bad days. There's times where, I look at pictures of him where things remind me of him and I either cry or I smile. And it's, either or.
To work and go to school. Be responsible. He would always tell me to go to school. He wanted me to do something, but I chose not to. And when I started working, he said, well, now you have to work and be responsible for your own things. And that's exactly what I've told my kids. I can only do so much, and after that, you guys are on your own.
I think one thing that I've gained from him was being so nurturing, being so caring, being so loving, because we're a big family. When I tell you we're a big family, we're a big family. I think that's why I'm so family oriented, and that's why I treat everyone like family, just like he did. He treated everyone like family.
Him calling me, he used to call me like 5 times a day. There was times that he would call me and I was at work still, and I used to rush outside and call him back and ask him what was going on. He said, oh, no, nothing. I just forgot you were working. I just called to say hi. How's everything? So I get off work at 1:30, and it's funny because as soon as I would walk in the door around 10 till 2, he was already, the house phone was ringing, and it was him. And if I wouldn't answer there, he would call my cell phone, and then he would call me back again like at 3:30 to make sure I had picked up all the kids. And then later on, he would call me again to see if all the kids were home already. So it was like 5 times a day he would call me, and that's what I miss the most, his phone calls.
honestly, I just miss being with him, just having his presence. I think that's what I miss.
That I love him and give him a big hug and a kiss and tell him not let go of him.
One thing I'd say or do if he was still here, I'd probably smell him, because he just has this unique smell. He does. His truck that he had still smells like him, and he's been gone for 2 years. And the fact that it still has his scent, that's something special. I dance with him, 100%. I'd dance with him. He loved dancing. He loved it. I'd eat. He loved eating. He loved it. I don't know, there's so many things I would want to do with him if he was still here, but he's not. He's not here no more.
Maybe my wedding day. That was, I guess, one of the event.
Why?
Because it was my wedding day, and that's every girl's dream, to walk down the aisle with your father and dance with him. Even though I had a quince and I did that, but it's not the same of like when you get married.
If I can go back to a certain day or event, I don't know. Every day I spent with him. My quince, for sure. 100% my quince. I would go back to that day. I was very hesitant of even having one to begin with, but I knew that if I didn't have one, I would regret it. I was able to have my father-daughter dance with him, and I think I will always cherish that forever. After he passed, we went through his closet and we decided to keep some clothes from him. So the shirt that he wore for my quince, I got it, and it was turned into a pillow. I don't sleep with it because I'm just scared that I'm gonna mess it up. But this is the shirt that he wore for my quince, and it's now a pillow. I think I would also want just to spend another birthday with him, you know, because his birthday, it was special. It wasn't like any other regular day. His birthday is New Year's Eve, December 31st. So we would all gather up at my grandma's house, and I feel like we weren't really there to celebrate the new year. I feel like we were there to celebrate him and to celebrate his birthday. You know, as soon as the clock hit 12, we would get the cake and we'd sing happy birthday to him. Happy birthday, dear Tata. Happy birthday to you. No.
Marquez up one. Marquez up one.
My grandpa was special. He celebrated New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. He got 2 birthdays. You know, and now that he's gone, it's like, what now? What do we do now? You know? The first birthday that we had without him, we got a cake and we sang happy birthday to a picture of him. So that was something to adjust to, because now we're not singing to him, we're singing to a picture of him, you know? All I really want is to sing happy birthday to him instead of a picture of him.
We love you. We're gonna miss you. You're gonna be in our hearts forever. And
Don't
cheers!